Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Hey, Mr. Mike Peterson, Raj, how are you doing tonight? I want to welcome everybody here. I sure appreciate it. Hey, Patrick. Hey, is this Patrick in our Facebook group? Um, hey, Julie. Hi, Gary. Hey, Gilbert, Brad. How you doing there? Glad everybody's here. Again, Patrick, is this a Patrick in our? Probably a friend of Aaron's. Um, you post some charts in there. I don't know if it's you or not, but it's somebody named Patrick. Anyway, want to say welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Hey Tommy, hi Vern, how are you? Hey T. Today's date is October 7th, 2024, Monday evening. Want to welcome everybody. Do me a favor for those that are in the trading room right here, right, or our free trading room. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. For those out there that's watching us on YouTube, X, or Facebook, if you could do me a favor, leave a thumbs up or a heart or whatever they do, just so we know that somebody was there, and we're, just so we can monitor it and see if it's working, I guess. Okay, would appreciate it. A different Patrick, that's all right. Glad you're here, Patrick. I appreciate it. So tonight, I just have, I don't know, 5 slides, 6 slides maybe, that I want to look at trading a small account. And we can certainly, and then we're going to look at charts. Um, it doesn't mean that we have to stop talking about the small account, but I'm not going to beat it to death. But I do want to bring up some things that I think are important for small accounts. And thank you, Ed. I appreciate it. Um, like I say, tonight's going to be about trading a small account. Plus, we're going to look at charts, the market. Maybe we can find that next great big trade that's going to run us up to big numbers, and maybe we can figure out how the SPY is going to reach 600, which I think it will, or awfully close. So we'll talk about that too. So first of all, instead of the title for tonight is trading a small account, and I was putting together a little bit of a PowerPoint, and one page I ended up with hammer and chisel, and I thought, you know what, that is a better title. Although it's going to be totally about, trading a smaller account. And the things I want to touch on are going to be some charting, hanging out with other traders, finding charts to trade, your brokerage. And we'll talk a little, like I say, there's only, I don't know, 5 or 6 slides. One of them is this one, and the other one is going to be this little disclaimer here, which simply says investing and trading involves a huge amount of financial risk. So do me a favor. Look, don't trade with your next month's rent. Okay, don't do that. Don't trade with your next month's car payment or anything like that. Please don't do that. Don't take any risk, and that's one of the things that I think is so important for a small account is you really have to learn when to put risk on and when to not have risk. Okay, it's very, very important, and we'll talk about that all night if you want. But right now, the first thing I want to share is we are a family of traders. Again, my name is Rick. I run Hit and Run Candlesticks. John, he runs BYOB Trading, and that's a day trading service. And Doug runs Right Way Options. And these are a set of rules that Doug created. And, why recreate the wheel? So I just copied, what he did and I posted here. They're absolutely perfect. And I would like to just go over though, just a tiny bit here. Um, let's make that blue. And eh, you know, this is about rules for the 3/8 trap, but really you can apply these rules to any trade setup that you want. And it just I think it's just so important to follow these rules. One is only trade stocks within a trend. Now, there could be an argument, there could be two traders that I probably should maybe put this over here. How's that? That's better, huh? You know, two different traders could maybe make an argument for what a trend is on a particular chart. And you know what? I'm not going to argue with that. All right. I think there is no set rule that says, okay, this is a trend and this is not a trend. There's some parameters that I think most traders would probably agree upon, but there are some things where some charts you might look at, one trader might go, well, that's just not for me. Another trader might say, well, that's perfect for me. We can talk about that tonight too. Trade, trade with the overall market direction. Now, this is one here that I got to tell you, this is a no-brainer. And when someone tries to skirt around this one, you're just asking for trouble. So for instance, if the market's bullish, why trade short? Doesn't make sense. But there's always people that do it. There's always going to be a short trade. And I would just say more power to you. Just more power to you. If the market is going down and it's not bullish and you're trying to trade long, again, more power to you. I hope it works for you. But if you were to put the market in your favor, what that's going to do is it's going to up the probabilities of your trade. And really, trading is about probabilities. It's putting one foot in front of the other. It's like having, well, if we just went these rules right here, there's 9 feet. If you were to put 1 foot in front of the second foot in front of the third foot in front of the fourth foot, and so on and so on and so on, you're going to put the probabilities in your favor. It doesn't guarantee you're going to have a winning trade, but it sure does help. Really does help. So trade stocks or charts with absolute positive price action. Now, when I say positive, I'm not referring to bullish. I could be referring to bearish as well. But it has to be positive price action in the direction you want it to go. Okay. This one right here, patiently. All right. You see that right there? Man, I got to tell you, without patience, you're going to lose. I'm not going to lie to you here. Without patience, just give it up right now. I'm being straight up honest with you. And for those with small accounts, you have to develop patience. Those with larger accounts, well, they don't have to have quite as much patience. And the reason is they've got deeper pockets. If they are in a trade and they buy a long trade and the trade starts to go south on them, they can make choices that a smaller account can't. A larger account, they can say, well, I see some support down here. Maybe I think I'll just hold it rather than close it out because, I just see it working. I just do. And for whatever reason, maybe they're right. Who knows? And all of a sudden it starts moving up. Well, that sounds great for everybody, but not so great for a small account. Because if you bought it up here and this thing drops 2%, 4%, 8%, 10%, 12%, 20%, smaller account can't handle that. Now, you're thinking, well, if I close it out, I'm going to be out my 20%. If I hold it, it'll go up. Well, here's the kicker. How do you know it's going to go up? How do you know that? Now, what are you going to do? Because you broke the rules. And now, and you're going to blow your account up. Okay. All successful traders have been here. All successful traders have seen this happen. So don't feel like you've invented this situation. You haven't. This is a very old game, and it has happened to everyone. So the best thing to do is cut your losses soon and quick. Remind me to share Uber with you tonight, and I'll explain something about Uber and why I bought it today, but I closed it today. So if somebody will remember here, let me write it down too. Make sure we talk about Uber. Okay. So it's very important to patiently wait for the market to be in a good direction. Okay, we're going to be talking about the market today and the direction. Buy stocks that at or near price support, moving average support, trend line support. Find something that you can relate to at support. And just because let's assume this blue line is support. Let's see. There we go. So price has come down, and let's just assume it is support. Do you know that the only way that you know this is support is if price comes in? Whoops, let's make that green, huh? If price comes in, that's the only way you know it's support. Despite what anybody tells you, despite how many lines you want to draw on a chart, despite how many times a line touches, it could touch 100 candlestick tops, bottoms, middles, wherever you want it to touch. The only way that that is truly going to be support is if price comes in. Buyers buy it. That is what signifies support, not the fact that it just came to some line. Okay, that it's buyers. So buy stocks that are at or near support with there it is right there. Let's make that buy signal, okay? Short stocks, the same way, at or near resistance, at a trend line, moving average, someplace where the in a bearish case, maybe we have fallen below something, the previous candle maybe, and then maybe we pop up, but um, we need to see sellers come back in. So it's just the opposite of being long. Plan a trade according to individual goals. One of the things we're going to chat about tonight, just a little bit, is about bullying, and fear of missing out. We'll talk more about that, but your trading should be all about your individual goals. Patrick, your goals. Tommy, Vern. It's the only names I can see there. Okay. I trade with my goals in mind. And all successful traders trade with their goals in mind. They also trade with their system. While our system might be the same, we all might, for instance, one day be trading XYZ that maybe is a rounded bottom breakout, or XYZ that's a 3A trap. But we have to go into it like it's our own system, and we have to understand that system. Very important to understand that. Okay. Never trade without an exit plan. Have that exit plan. That is so important right here. Boom. Know where your stops are going to be. Know how much that's going to cost you. Be willing to say when you enter a trade, all right, I'm willing to use $12 as my stop. And if it gets down to $12, I'm going to lose $100 maybe. Be good with that. Don't don't just willy-nilly say, I'm gonna put $100 in there, and then you want to be mad at yourself just because you lost $100. Accept it, own it. It's part of trading. It really is. All right. Always know the amount of money that you have at risk here. Always know that, and always know the amount of money that you could possibly make. Always know that. How much money can you possibly make? And if you know that, and if you know how much you could lose, well, you've got half the battle beat already once you understand that. Okay. So very important there. I want to talk the small accounts. I want to talk about just really quick, just one slide on this. This is one of the things that can get small accounts, new traders in trouble. And they get out there and they start trading. They do 4 trades inside 5 days, and they get nailed. Your brokerage will come back. They will shut you down. If you call them up and talk nice, they'll open your account back up. They'll give you one chance. Don't be ugly with them. Be nice to them. Say, hey, I didn't know that. But I've never heard of a broker saying, no, you're cooked. Now you'll get your money back. It's not like they keep your money. If you have $3,000 in there, they're not going to keep your money. But your ultimate goal would be to get your account over $25,000. Once you get over that $25,000 amount, you can trade as much as you want. You're considered a pattern day trader, although we do not day trade. That is what they call it. All right. So that's the ultimate goal. So if you have a small account, let's see here. How can I do this? If you have a small account, your goal is to increase your account so that you get up there to over that $25,000 mark. Once you get over that $25,000 mark, then, like I said, you'll be able to trade in and out, in and out, in and out. Now, that may not sound like much to you right now. That may sound, wow, I don't have that problem, no big deal. But if you're in 3 or 4 positions, maybe 10 positions, excuse me, and all of a sudden the market starts, let's say you're long and the market starts to tank and get kind of ugly, you need to get out of those. Well, if you bought them today, you're screwed. You're screwed. If you buy one today, sell one today, buy one tomorrow, sell one tomorrow, there's 2. Well, what if you get yourself backed into a corner? You're screwed. So be very, very conscious of how many trades you've accumulated in this pattern day trading rule. Okay, be very, very be on top of that, because it will sneak up on you. It will sneak up on you, and then all of a sudden your account is poof. You're stuck. They shut you down. You call them up and you say, hey, if you don't answer your email, because they'll send you an email, you call them up and say, hey, what happened? And they'll tell you. And they'll be really polite about it. But the fact is the fact. It's not their rule. So don't get mad at them. Let's figure out a way to work around it. Here's another thing too, that, well, yeah, we'll talk about maybe later, I guess. If you're trading options, one good thing is if you hold it overnight, and this just goes with a bigger class that I do about this. If you're trading options, you hold it overnight, you can close it the next day, and your money will be there the following day. Where if you're just trading stock, you might have to wait a couple days for the money to clear. That might be a little dependent on your brokerage. But if you do trading options, it clears. So for smaller accounts, I'm not trying to push options, but I'm just saying your money clears much quicker if you're trading options. Okay. Let's see here if I can do this right. There we go. All right, let's talk about this hammer and chisel. All right. And really, I started writing this out because there are some things about trading. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't understand this about trading. Um, there are an awful lot of people. I think it's probably because maybe because trading is it's a fine line between trading and gambling. And everybody knows from early on in life that gambling, you can make a lot of money, and most everybody wants to hide their head in the sand about losing money on gambling. Um, but what happens is I think traders get out there and they think, well, I'm going to go trade, and they don't think about it as a business. They don't think about it as a possible way of life. And believe me, trading, when you're trading on your own and you're making it offers uh, some life situations that are phenomenal. And I'm not talking financially. I'm just talking some freedoms. Just, I mean, if you were just in trading, if you were to be able to make what you made at a job, but you had the freedom of a trader, that would be so cool. So cool. I mean, just think about that. And So anyway, it's just so many people go into trading, I think, with a gambling attitude, and they don't go into it with a business attitude, or get the job done. If you're a carpenter, I mean, how what would it be like if at your home you needed some work done, a garage built or something, and you hired somebody and they showed up with no tools? I mean, what would you think? Would you be nervous? Would you be like, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? But yet with trading, people will show up without the right tools. Okay. One sec, trader. We'll get to that. Okay. So here, I just wanted to share my main tools. And I mean, this is no secret to the members out there. Um, let's see here. Let's make this blue, I guess. Blue, blue, blue. There we go. Charting. You want your charting, and it doesn't matter what charts you use, whatever charts you want to use, but you want the charting to be clean, crisp charts. You want easy to use tools, and you want all the tools to be there that come in a charting package. Honestly, I think a lot of charting packages are probably pretty darn good. Okay. Me personally, I use TC 2000. All right. Finding charts. Um, Finding chart. This is a tool, and you can use. There's a lot of tools out there. Your eyeballs can be a tool for charting, but whatever you use, it's worth its weight in gold. It really, really is. And when you're able, so here's the situation now. Okay, it makes you a better trader. Why does it make you a better trader to be able to find your own charts? Because if I'm look, I'm like everybody else. Okay, I sign up for everything and then I delete a lot of stuff. I like to see what's going on out there. I get texts sent to me sometimes. I've signed up for WhatsApp app and I can't get rid of the damn thing now. But I'll get these, somebody's telling me that XYZ is taking off. Okay, so what? I mean, if you follow alerts, and we give out alerts, all right, but we urge you to follow your rules. But if you get these alerts, if you get, some email once a month about these stocks, and that's the only stocks you follow, you're not learning about these stocks. You're not learning how they got to where they were. So being able to find charts on your own is so important for a trader. And I think that's one of the tools, one of the hammers and chisels that you need to put that trading in the right place for you. Okay. I personally use live trading alerts. Hang out with other traders. Um, Look, one of the best things I think a trader could do is be with other traders, whether it's in another trading room or other trading groups. You'd be surprised how another set of eyes, or just having a trading buddy, 100 trading buddies that are, they're watching your six, you're watching their six. It's just, we look at charts all the time, and I might be looking at a chart. Man, I really like this chart. I'm about to buy this chart, talking in the room, and somebody says, "Hey, Rick, this has earnings in 6 days." Whoops, back up. That's a big no-no for me. But maybe I didn't notice it. That happens often, by the way. So having a group to help you, I think, is huge. And as a trader with a small account, you need all that help you can get. You need to be able to throw things out there and bat ideas back and forth. And you do that with trading in a group or a trading room. I would prefer that you preferred hit and run candlesticks. Okay. So I'm not going to lie about that right there. A brokerage firm. You know, um, I don't know of any bad brokerage firms, honestly. I think everybody probably has a gripe and a complaint from time to time about the brokerage firm you're in, or everybody probably has a gripe and a complaint about a brokerage firm, something that happened 3 years ago. Look, we live in a technical world, and sometimes beyond their control, that something goes wrong. Okay, so it happens. The key to a good brokerage is they've got to be easy to get along with, and they'll pick up the phone when you call. All right, those are priorities to me right there. If they'll pick up that phone when I call, these people will get my undivided attention. They will get my business from now on. If they're easy to get along with, if I call them and ask them a question and they give me a good answer without some run around, well, go over here and click on this, watch this video and read that hogwash. If they are easy to get along with, they're probably going to be a good broker. Okay. I use Tradier. That's what I use. All right. So I just, this whole for small accounts, which small accounts are usually new traders, and usually, not always, but it's important for new accounts to have their tools. Otherwise, like I said, if you needed a garage built and some yahoo showed up with just a hammer, what are you going to do? How is that going to make you feel? When I have something done, say my garage built, I want a truck to pull up. I want to have 2 or 3 carpenters on there. I want to see hammers. I want to see saws. I want to see tape measures. I want to see levels. I want to see some age there. Okay. I want to see some experience. I want to see that, okay, hey, these guys, at least they have the tools. At least they have the tools. So I think that's very important to do. Well, I forgot about this slide. Let's talk about hype and FOMO. For those that don't know what this means, and I ran across somebody the other day that they asked me, he said, they've heard this before. What does that mean? It means fear of missing out, and hype. All right, hype. Look, it's really simple. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't get there. Don't get caught up in hype and FOMO. Just don't do it. Not every trade is for you, and you must do your own work. So, let's say what NVDA. Okay, Nvidia, right? So let's say that we're in the trading room and we're trading Nvidia. Well, maybe Nvidia is not for you. Maybe you can't afford Nvidia. What might you say? Well, if you're a small account, you might not be able to afford Nvidia. It's too expensive. You just accept it. There's nothing you can do about it. Just slow down. There's other trades out there. Not every stock is $100 stock. There's plenty $30 stocks, $40 stocks, $50 stocks that you can buy, an option with, or $5 stocks or $10 stocks that you can buy a stock with, with a $2 or $3, $4, $5,000 account. It's okay. Don't get caught up in, well, hey, this stock is moving. Don't get caught up in something like PFE is on fire. All right. Don't get caught up on that. I'm only mentioning that because I talked about it today. Don't get caught up in it. Don't, wait for the setup. Remind me, let me write that down, and I'll share my setup on PFE. And I plan to buy it for a little longer term, but I'll share what I'm looking at. Okay. Don't get bullied into a lousy trade. So here's a good example. I enter a trade, Trader Chick enters a trade, Patrick, T, Vern, Tommy, Brad, Julie Gilbert, Gary enters a trade. We're all in the room. We're all talking about it. We're hyping it up. Man, this is going to be a great trade, isn't it? Oh, this is looking so good. You're sitting back there wondering, geez, I've already got 4 trades on. I barely have enough money. But if I go down and maybe pick this option, a little lower, a little less money, man, the stock is already, excuse me, the stock has already moved up 10%. Maybe I shouldn't. Oh man, these guys are talking about it. I'm getting excited. So what do? You buy it. Don't get caught up in the hype. All right. Look, if the stock is up, if you can't afford it, whatever the case, just stop. Remember your rules. Be patient. Okay. Please, please be patient. You will get your chance. And sometimes and there's people in the trading room that get into a stock and I sit there for whatever reason. I don't get into it. And by the time I decide to get into it, well, now the doggone thing has moved too much. All right. My bad. Easy come, easy go. But stick with your trade. And by the way, when I say stick with your trade, for some folks, you're dying to say something like, well, I don't even know what my trade is. And how do I know what my trade is? Well, if you're a member of Hit and Run Candlesticks, if you're a trial in the room, ask us. And it's not that I'm going to tell you what your trade is. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to ask you, well, show me a chart you like. Give me an example of a chart that makes sense to you. And you show me a couple of charts, I'll be able to figure out what it is you like. I'll be able to see it. And then we can get it down to the entry, the stop, targets, things like that. But you first have to decide what you like. Some traders love, absolutely love to pick off the bottom. Some traders absolutely love to do that. Some traders love to be charts that's moving up and they go flat and then they just break out. Okay. Some traders like whatever's in the middle. Some traders want daily charts and weekly charts to match up, intraday charts to match up. All you've got to do is share just a couple of charts. You don't even have to talk about this stuff. All you've got to do is say, I like what this chart is doing right now. Well, that will help me. I'll probably ask for another one, but that'll help me. And then we can drive the rest of it. But we have to have a starting point, okay? And that does nothing but help you. Maybe you say, look, I've watched videos on the 3/8 trap. I love the 3/8 trap, but I just can't seem to get it together. Ask. Please ask, okay? Just come in the room and ask. All right. And don't get bullied in a bad market, for God's sakes. For instance, while I think, and we're gonna look at charts in just a second. I think I only have one more slide after this. I think. While I think the SPY goes to 600 or awfully darn close, I think the market is crap right now. I really do. So don't get bullied into making a trade, long or short, in a crappy market. And I think the market was crappy today. Absolutely crappy. And we're going to talk about that with charts, okay? So don't get bullied into that. Only trade when there's a good market. What was it? What was it? Let me see if I can do this. There we go. What was it that Doug wrote in his rules? Where is it, Mark? Right there. Trade with concise and deliberate price action. That might be hard for you to see. This is, I've got this on my screen. I can move this. It's there. Okay. So make sure it has concise, deliberate price action. There is nothing about precise or deliberate that the market is doing right now that would make me happy. Not one stinking thing. And you should feel the same way. Not about today, maybe. Somebody might absolutely disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. But there are days when I know that you will say, this is a junky market, and maybe I need to stay out. So only trade in a good market. And that is it. So what am I going to do here? I don't know how to do this now. There we go. How's that? Okay. I have a question up here. Trader Chick, sorry. Thank you for letting me finish. So Trader Chick says if you have a cash account, no margin, the pattern day trader minimum of 25,000 does not apply. You are very, very correct. Consult your broker in a cash account. Now, that is very, very true. That if you have a cash account, you don't have to do that. But here's where you've got to make some decisions. Okay, you have to make some decisions here. And if you um let me grab something here. Do-do-do-doom. Let me do this. Let me copy this. Let me bring up Google, or here we go. Let me put this in there. All right. So here's the thing. And we're not talking about doubling your account right now. We can talk about it, but that's not what I want to talk about here. Okay. I think there's some things that just be realistic. All right. And do the math, but do the math the right way. Not some pipe dream. Okay. Um, not some pipe dream. And so here's margin or cash. Okay. If you have a $5,000 account, all you've got to do is make $23.80 a day. Uh, this is our doubling calculator. I'm not really talking about doubling, but it's a great way to just have this conversation. If you wanted in 12 months $10,000, you're going to have to put away net, we'll call it $24 a month. Okay. Well, what if you only had $2,000? What if you had $2,000? All you've got to do is put away less than $10 a day on average to have $4,000 at the end of a year. So the thing of it is, with a cash account, can you do that? That's the thing. Can you do that? Now remember, you only have $2,000. If you had a margin account, you're going to have more than $2,000. You're going to have $4,000. It's going to be easier to make this money. Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to say everybody should have an account on margin. I'm not trying to say that. But there are some things that you're going to work so much harder trying, with a $2,000 account or a $3,000 account. I mean, the more you get in there, the easier it can become. But with a $2,000 account, can you imagine? I mean, you're looking for a little bit of money, and if you think that you're gonna fall upon that stock that you're gonna buy and it's gonna rip for 3 months and you're just gonna be wealthy by any man's imagination, you're barking up the wrong tree. I mean, I would like to say it's going to happen to you, but I seriously think you're barking up the wrong tree. So think about that. If you're going to dive into trading, make it real for yourself. So trader has a very good point there. You don't get stuck with that day trading rule. But the downside is, can you really make money with a $2,000 account? Can you really? No, you cannot. Okay. Um, can you make money with a $5,000 account? No, not the kind of money you truly want. Not that kind of money. You can make ice cream money. You can make ice cream money, but you can't make steak dinner money. And that is just a fact. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. And thank you so much, Trader, for bringing that up. All right, let's talk about the market here, okay? Let's see. Why did I lose my line up here? I want to thank everybody. I appreciate allowing me to do that. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I do think the market, the SPY is my overall my market, okay? And I do think we go to 600 or awfully close. Um, and yeah, I do. Is it going to happen this week? No. Is it going to happen at the end of this year? I have no idea. I don't think trading should be put on a timeline. I really don't. I just think we're going to 600. Do I think we're going to go to 600 before we get down below the 50 period moving average? I want it to, yes. Okay. Can I say that's going to be for sure? No. But do I want it to go to 600 before it goes below the 50? Yes, I do want that. We'll see what happens. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens. But right now, I'm going to say yes. Okay. So why do I think this is a crappy market? Just look at this. Look at Friday, and then look what happened today. Why would we want to trade? See, one of the things with small accounts is don't get bullied into trading. Don't get don't get caught in that FOMO. Don't, you see traders in your trading room, in your group, everywhere, you're buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. You get texts from people, you get emails from people, other traders. Um, you'll turn on the news, trading news, and man, XYZ is up, and Cat's leading the market. Bank charts leading the market. Banks are failing, whatever. So you get caught up into it. Make sure you can read the market. And if you can't, you need to ask or you need to learn how to do it. And it's really, really simple. I mean, I look at this and here's what I see here. I see this very nice trend movement. You know what? Let's do it this way. I'm going to make this blue, make it 5. I see a very nice trend moving up. And I'm basing that on my tools on the chart. And I see that moving up. But then what do I see? I see this moving down. Now, overall, this is not a horrible chart. It really isn't. I just think it's a terrible chart to trade. Now, I'm not trading the SPY, I'm trading other stocks. But I want the market to be going in my favor. So if we were to take a look at this chart, well, let's do it this way. If we were to take a look at this chart, you know what? I'm going to do it. I have to do this. Um, let me pull price off here. There we go. All right, and let's get rid of everything. There we are. So you see, that's what I want. But we know, I said, well, the market is not very good right now. It's not, because price is holding us back. If you look at the white line, see how the white line is just kind of trickling down a little bit? We don't want that. We want that white line to be trickling up. I mean, look at that. That's what we want. There's a bearish chart. There's a bullish chart, and the SPY remains bullish even today when today was ugly. It is still bullish, but it's having a bullish pullback, and the buyers haven't stepped in yet. And that's what we need to happen. And that's what somebody with a small account. This is what you want to do. You want to make sure everything is working, because you cannot afford to make simple mistakes like this. Now, somebody with a $100,000 account, they can afford to play around a little bit. They can afford to buy and say, I'm going to buy just because I want to, maybe. They can do that if they want. But somebody with a small account, you can't do that. You can't afford it. Trading is about probabilities. So you want to put all the probabilities in your favor. So if the market is bullish, why would you want to short? Look at this right here, right here. You don't want to necessarily be buying anything until you see the market starting to swing up. When the market starts to swing up, now you have the market on your side. Now you can go look at individual charts that you want to buy. If you're going to short, you want the market to be swinging to your side, to the downside. Now you can short. Again, putting the probabilities in your favor. Okay, that's what you're after. So as I look at the chart today, and that also gives you an edge. Please tell me where my edge is. Where's the edge today? None. Where's the Friday? We had a good go Friday, and And if today would have done something pretty much opposite of what it did, if today would have done this, we would have been, let's go, let's rock, let's get going here. But it wasn't. And this is where we have to accept, all right, maybe today's a day that I'm not necessarily going to trade. All right. Let's go talk about Uber for a second because I bought Uber today and then Uber pulled back. Well, I have this in a small account. I closed it out. I still like the chart. I still, I've looked at this a dozen times tonight. I'm still good with my decision because I would rather take the small loss than the bigger loss. And and I still like the chart. So why am I concerned? Because I've got no idea what tomorrow is going to bring. I have zero idea. And I don't want this here to be in a situation where you take say a $50 loss, all right, and then it moves down, and then it's $100 loss, and then all of a sudden I'm going to hold it because now I see, well, it might bounce off these moving averages. Well, now I'm at a $200 loss. Okay, okay, fine, right? Now, remember the market? We talked about the market, SPY. Okay, remember we talked about that? All right. What if the SPY does this? Psst. And believe me, everything you own, if the SPY does that, everything you own is going to get spanked. Now, I'm already getting a spanking. So now what's going to happen? I'm going to get more of a spanking. So don't back yourself into a corner. Again, this was in the small account, not the large account, and I felt it better to take the safety side of things, back out of this because it didn't hold up. And how do I know it's going to hold tomorrow and move up? I don't. So it's very important with the smaller accounts to to manage not just your account. No, don't, one of the big questions, you hear things like this all the time. Um, Questions like, well, how much do you put into a trade? Oh my God, that's the first question? Really? I mean, you could put, there's probably 50 questions that need to be asked, but that's the only one anyone wants to know. What about looking at the whole market and saying, this is too risky for me? I'm going to manage by going to cash. No one ever asked about that. It's always, how much money should I put into this? I've got an account that's got $4,000. How should I divide that up amongst my positions? Never is it anything about this kind of management. It's always about this kind of management. And forgetting one of the most important things, know when to back up. Know when to say, this market's over my head right now. All right. This market is way over my head. Now, I would love for, Ed put a link out there for a $49 trial for hit run candlesticks. Look, I would love for 10 people to sign up. Okay. I would love that. Sorry, I've had a bit of a lag tonight. It's doing it now. A lag here. I don't know if there it is. We could have pretty much a choppy market for the next 3 weeks, right? What happens in 3 weeks? Close to that, 4 weeks. It could happen. We could have a very choppy market until the election. That's, to me, that's the next big thing. Okay, Feds could come in and do something, but I think they've spoken. So just keep that in mind. And we want to make sure that the market is just right, not horrible. And smaller accounts, this is so important for you. So important. Okay. Anyway, I am sorry. I have rattled on. Does anyone have any questions? Vern, earnings, big tech in 3 weeks. That could be a catalyst, up or down. Yeah, up or down. That could absolutely be a catalyst. Thank you, Vern, for reminding us. Yes. Anyone else have anything? Any charts you want to look at? Nvidia, we're still holding some Nvidia. Ay, ay, ay. I apologize for the lag. I don't know. It started after the market closed. I've rebooted a couple of times and it still does it. So I don't know why. Anyway, Nvidia came up here and nailed our target. We had that target up there. We've had it there for I don't know how many days. We came up there and got that target. I didn't close mine out. Still in it. I'm still looking for 135 up here for a target, and we'll evaluate from there whether we're going to close it or take some off the table, or depending on what we're going to do there. We're short some DLTR, and that's working out pretty good. Yeah, that's working out. I would like it to come down a bit more. I really would, but it's working out. Solomon, which software plan do you, of TC2000 should one get? I prefer the platinum. Okay. If you buy it by the year or 2 years, it gets pretty inexpensive. That one-time cost. But I prefer the platinum. I mean, if you want to, if you're thinking about it, I've got a link that'll get you $25 off your first month, I think. But that's the one I prefer. Let's see, Trader X. Yes, I agree with you. I looked at this a couple times today. All right, let's talk about this chart because I think this chart is sweet. I really do. So here's what I'll hear from a lot of traders, and then I want to talk about it even more. I hear from a lot of traders, dang it, I missed it. Or traders will say, well, has it gone too much? No, it has not. What does this tell you? You got to remember that when trades break out, or when they break out or make a move like this, that means it doesn't mean that it moved up just willy-nilly. It didn't move up just by itself. And believe me, Trader X, I take no offense, please. You nor I doubt you and I could move this chart. If we pooled our money, I doubt we could move this chart. I doubt we could do this. Okay. Right. So you got to know that there's some money making this happen. Well, money it's what makes it work. So if there's money doing this, then I would suspect that money sees this price going higher. Now, so what happens here is somebody will ask, well, is it too late? They may decide, I'm not going to buy it because it's moved up too much. So they go about their business. And what happens is the next day it pulls back and they think they're the smartest cookie in the jar. Phew. God damn, I'm a good trader. I am so smart. Man, I am a fantastic trader. So they don't look at this chart for 3 or 4 days or a week later. And then here's what happens. And what should happen is when they go look at this chart a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever, and if it did this, there should be something jump out of your computer screen and just bonk you right on the head. Just punch you in the nose. Because you thought you were a smart trader. That's what stocks do. Get over thinking that just because it breaks out, it should move up right away. Get over thinking that. That is not what happens as far as the norm goes. The norm is to do just this. It's to fake everybody out. The norm is it pulls back, because big traders, they can't put their whole nut in there on one whack. They can't do that, because if they did, that thing would gap up and be up here, and they'd be trading against themselves for the next month. So what do? They put half their nut in. Sorry, folks. They put half their nut in anyway. And then they let the chart fiddle fart around a little bit, and then they go back and put their other nut in. So this is a gorgeous chart. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Trader X. So I'm going to go look at the weekly because I look at the daily. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And I use TC2000, guys, but you know what? I love it. Tomorrow it'll be fixed. Whatever it is, it's temporary. Come on. Come on. All right, let's go to the weekly. No, I can't even do that. Let me try to get out of it. Let me answer Jack's question. How do you feel about keeping your trading account at the same dollar level and sending profits to another account so that you get in the habit of taking profits? I used to do that, and don't get over your skis with adding a lot of risk. I used to do that, Jack, and to be honest, $100,000 was a tipping point to me. Seriously, I could take an account from 50,000 to 100, take some money out of it. I could do that again, but I swear to you, I got over $100,000. Something went on in my head. I don't know what it was, but I would lose money. I swear. So I absolutely used to do that. The only thing is you want to make sure you keep enough money in there that gives you an adequate amount of trading. Okay, adequate amount of trading. But more importantly, just learn to have control. I think that would be the most important thing right in there. Okay. Um, so all right, where were we? We were looking at that FWRD. Let's see if it'll give it to me. FRWD, please. FRWD would help if I typed it right. Oh, come on. It's not changing over here either. Well, anyway, anyone know any good? Oh, there we are. FRW, FR, RWD. Here we go. All right, there we go. That's a nice chart, by the way, folks. I'm going to show you what I will do with this chart for tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to share my plan with you. Why? What did I do wrong? FWRD. There we go. Oh, all the best laid plans. Hello, Mr. Patrick over in YouTube. Thank you very much. Appreciate you mentioning that. All right. Okay. All right. Here's the daily chart. So I'm going to go look at the weekly chart because I want to see what's over here. I can see it clearly. You guys might not be able to see it because it just gets so small over here. Okay. So honestly, I could just. So ultimately, man, that's usually I don't go that big really, but man, this chart looks pretty nice all the way up here to $60, $61. That doesn't mean it's not going to have pullbacks. I think it will. In fact, I know it will. I would bet my money on that. What a beautiful chart. I hate to go to the weekly right now. All right, so let's don't. Let's don't and just say we did. I'm going to put another line right here. I'm also going to put another line right here. I know, and I know this may be hard for you guys to see. All right, now it'll be easier for you to see with targets up there. Okay. So I want to talk about this trade because today, every Monday, by the way, every Monday I do a webinar free of charge that involves live trading alerts. And today was no different. I did it today. And this chart here was coming up as one of those alerts on the scan that I was talking about. So anyway, the whole idea behind this and the way I look at it and the way I want to trade this setup, this type of setup is a chart that's been up. I want it bullish. So a bullish here. I like the whole green dots going on here. And then I want this pullback. And I want this pullback to be close to those dots. All right. Now, The way I have the scan set up, it actually utilizes the 25 exponential moving average. But please don't get your head wrapped around that. All I'm looking for is price to be between the T line and the 25 exponential. It's the only purpose is for scanning. The 25 is not on my charts. I do not use a 25 on my charts. I'm using it. I do use it sometimes in the background for scanning, but for this particular setup, I do use it, and it's an important piece in it because what it does is I want price to be trapped in that area, and then I want price to come back up over the T line. It's real simple. Okay. I want price, I want the trend, I want everything to be working. I want this to be coming down, and then I just want it to be underneath or right at the trendicator, the green dots, right in this area. And then I want it to come right back up. I don't want it to be down here. I don't want it to bounce off the 50 period moving average, which is right here. I don't want it to bounce off the 200. I mean, there's scans for that. This is not for that purpose. This scan is just simply looking for charts that do exactly what this is doing. So up and back. Okay. So now with that said, this alerted Friday, and you can see the 3-bar candle pattern here. This is what we call a fig Newton. So this was, I mean, for anybody that was buying Friday, this would have been a heck of a good buy. And if somebody said, I'm buying this, I would have looked at the chart and I would have said, I 100% see why you're buying it. It would absolutely make sense to me. And then today you were very well rewarded. Now, what's going to happen here is it's going to rest. It might not rest tomorrow. It might be the next day, but it will rest. They all do. And then that might open the door for a better entry, or for what you think might be a better entry anyway. And we're just now breaking out. Usually when you get a breakout, usually what happens is, we may sneak up a little bit tomorrow, but then watch for that pullback. And then that's where I'm going to watch for that entry right in here. So I think this is a super chart, Trader X. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. And that's exactly how, I'll look to trade it. Let's see here. So I'll be looking at options on it. If we go, whoops, need to type in FWRD. So here, I can bring this over. There we go. So, option wise, January, right here, the 30s look pretty good. December, still the 30s look good. I don't know why there we go. I would even say the 35s look good. If you wanted to get out here, March, nothing in March. So November, that's only 39 days. So I probably personally wouldn't do that. December would be the minimum. And whoops. Yeah, 35s would be fine. 30s would be good. And then January, the same thing is what I would look at on that. So put that back. There we go. There we go. So yeah, a super chart. Excellent there. Thank you. Patrick, by price, do you mean the entire candlestick range? Oh, I'm not sure what you're referring to. By price, do you mean the entire candlesticks range? Are we talking about being down here and then up? I'm trying to, what part does your question? Wick, Zoe, again, are we talking about what I talked about here? And like I say, both those questions Okay, thank you, Patrick. That's what I need to know. At what part tonight does that pertain to? So, um, no, here I'm gonna. What is this? Oh, it is. So let's put it up. I'm gonna put that. There it is, right there. All right. I don't know why one shows one color, one doesn't. So, you know what? Let me do this. Let me put the T line up. This is just a cleaner, plainer chart. Okay, so let me use this one. All right, let's just make that bigger, I guess. There we go. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this. There we go. That cleans it up pretty good. So I'm using, I mean, if I could probably use the 30, maybe. I could use a 35 if I wanted. Um, what I'm after is this right here. Let me get my arrow out. Is price. I want price to be trending. I want price to be above that black line. That's what we call the T line. That's the 8 exponential moving average. I want the 8 exponential moving average to be above the green dots. We call that the trendicator. And I want the trendicator to be above that, whatever line you want to put down here. The 25 works best for me because I don't want a massive pullback. I want to control my pullback. Anything below that, it's out of control. That's just a strategy, okay? I don't know that. Yeah, I want to control the pullback. So that's what I'm doing here. And so all I want is for price to be down here. Don't get wound up or tied up over the candle, the entire wick. See, this is one of the beauties of the scanner. The scanner will set this up. So for those that are familiar with the 3/8 trap, you're looking for price that's trapped between the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA. That's a 3/8 trap. All right. Just look at the body. Who cares about the wicks? All I've done was create a lower trap, but I want it to close up over the T line before I buy it. I'm not interested in buying it down here necessarily. However, I've got 3 or 4 scans that finds everything in this area because that's what I want. So I'll get alerted that it's down here. I'll get alerted that it's broken out. I'll get alerted that it's breaking out over the previous candle, even if it's in here. I mean, I do a lot with this. Okay. So don't overthink it too much. Don't eh, just step back and put some foggy glasses on. Put some really dirty glasses on. And what we're after is we're controlling the bottom. We want a bullish trend. We want a pullback and we want the buyers to step in. Okay. Just like that. Just like that. And now we're looking to trade it. I hope that makes some sense. All right. So, and by the way, for those with the scanner, by the way, to give you an idea, look for the trap with where set up the trap. Just use 2 moving averages. I use the 8 and the 25. I want price has to be in the trap within the last 3 days. I'm not looking for an exact, hey, it's in a 3/8 trap today. All right. I want it just within the last 3 days, and then I want to know when it goes above the T line here. And that tells me that the momentum, the buyers are stepping back into the chart. Okay. Does that make sense? I hope. And yeah, so still having my head around the lingo. That's okay. I'm trying to figure out your velocity lingo, and I have no idea what you mean by that. So you ask me that question in a different way. Don't use the word velocity. To me, that's not a trading word. And okay, it doesn't work for me. Let's see. Um, let's take a look at oh, W. Sorry, let's take a look at a white screen with a W on it here. There we go. Look at Wayfair here, and this is look at Wayfair right there. There's one of the alerts, and look at Wayfair. Isn't that a chart you want? Now I know there's probably an awful lot of traders saying, "Well, I want the chart down here." Well, go get it then if you want. I mean, that's not what I look for. Um, and there's nothing wrong if you want it down here, and there's nothing wrong if you can get it down here. Just go get it, go do it. That's not what I do. So I'm looking at Wayfair. I'm looking at Wayfair to do this right here, and that's the trade I want. That's the leg I want to be part of right in here. So um, you know. SQM. We're gonna fight this. So anyway, um, this is where look at that. See there. See how we're down and now we're back up. That's what I want right there. Down and back up, down and back up, and now we can get going here. And anyway, um, let's see. Trader X put another chart out there. SMCI. Let's go look at that. Here's SMCI coming off the oops. Let's go back to this chart, please. There we go. SMCI. Let's get rid of that 25 now. We don't want that there. There we go. Coming off the bottom. Trader X, you're 2 for 2, dude. Or yeah, nice. I'm gonna have to write that down. I'll share why in just a second here. SMCI. Okay, so coming off the bottom, I'm not a big bottom picker. I'm really not, and this is coming off the bottom, so it's one thing I like about it. But another thing I like about it is if you look at this candle pattern, this is called a cradle pattern right here, and it's called a cradle pattern because there's your footboard, there's your mattress bed, and here's your headboard right in here. That's a nice chart. That is super nice. And it's, if I could have caught it today, good for me, but it's not going to happen today. So now I'm probably going to let it ride for a couple of days. We'll see what it does. Because I think the real money is made going forward, is not today. All right. Today was like, woohoo. Anybody that got it, good for you. 2 thumbs up, pat you on the back. Now let's go get the bigger money. And the bigger money is going to be in this area right here. And that's what we call a rounded bottom breakout. So I'll be watching that 50 period moving average pretty closely, and I'll be watching price. That's a nice, super nice chart. Okay, super nice chart. So thank you, Mr. X. What else? Did I cover everything? Did I get all questions? Did I answer everything? Is there any other questions anyone wants to talk about? We bought CPNG today on the gap. I rarely buy a gap the first day, rarely. And I wanted to do this because this thing just seems like it just keeps wanting to go up. And you can see it did that, chart pattern I'm looking for. It did that. I wish it didn't gap today. I wish it didn't, but it did. So I bought that. So my plan here is, for one, my plan is for it to go higher. But if my plan doesn't work out is like I want it to, and it does pull back, I will look at buying more of it on the pullback up to a point. And that point, I can't tell you the exact dollar price because my trading involves price, the T line, and the trend indicator on what they do together. So I can't predict what's going to happen there at all. You're right, Aaron. Let me talk about PFE, and then we'll call it a night. So I've been asked by a couple people today about PFE. And here's my thing about PFE. All right. I want PFE. Make no mistake of it. I want PFE. When I look at the weekly chart, yeah, yeah, okay, that wasn't too bad. When I look at the weekly chart, and please keep in mind that I trade an awful lot with moving averages as targets, buying areas, areas to take profits, things like that. PFE on the weekly chart right now is what we call a rounded bottom breakout. This is, I love this chart pattern. I absolutely love it. But it doesn't mean that every rounded bottom breakout is a chart to be traded. And as I look at this chart and I think about what PFE has done in the past, which is junk, if you ask me. All right, PFE has drove me crazy, and PFE has drove so many other people crazy. The stock is just insane, and it needs to get a grip on itself. So where is that? I don't want to trade PFE if it's going to be volatile. I don't want to do that. I'm not into that. I don't want that. I want PFE to straighten itself out. So I think PFE will straighten itself out over 3150, over this high. But if somebody sees a trade right here, if you want to be part of a drama nightmare, go right ahead. And that is the way I see PFE. And I could be completely wrong. It could straighten itself out starting tomorrow. But right now, all I see is a drama nightmare for about 8%. So let's, keep everything in perspective here. Do you really want a drama nightmare for about 8%? No, I don't. So, how about we take the drama out of it, and how about we let it continue to carve out this little whatever thing it's doing here? All right. And over 3150, how about we take it a little bit serious? And I think over 3150, and I say I think because I've just seen charts do this sort of thing before, where they'll move up and then they'll just go. I mean, they're on drugs, is what they are. So they've got to get the drugs out of drugs. That's funny. PFE. They need to get the drugs out of their system. And once it breaks out, I think it'll make every trader out there that's watching it probably take better notice of it. And then when it does that, remember, I don't care about 8%. I don't when I see the possible future here. So there's 14%, there's 26%. Now, if it's so important for somebody to claim that other 8%, rock and roll, knock yourself dead. But I want nothing to do with this piece of garbage. And that's the way I feel about it, because it has been choppy, it's been rotten, it has no commitment, it's on drugs. So let it get it out of its system, and now let's trade it over 3150. So that is my plan for PFE. And from here, I think this could be a little bit of a longer term play for some folks. Might even be for me, a little bit here. Let's try to. Here's a. No, let's just stay with a weekly chart. It's just the best chart to look at, I think. There we go. Anyway, I hope that makes sense to everybody. So there's my PFE. Okay. All right. Let's call it a night here, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your questions. Small accounts, look, you can do it. I've doubled a small account. I know a lot of other people have. It's not necessarily unique. I know it can be done. I know other people that have done it, but I'll tell you what, it takes a smaller account paying attention more than it takes a larger account. You've got to have the tools, you've got to have patience, and you've got to understand what you want. I think I can help you on all those. Okay. I think I can help you with the tools, how to use them. I think I can um, Yeah, I can do that. Patience. I think I can help you with patience. And I say that because I have no problem talking in the room and saying, you know what? This market is beyond me. I'm not somebody that feels like I have to put winning trades out there every day. Now, some people want me to. I mean, I suppose I could close my Nvidia today and make money. I suppose I could have closed my DLTR and made money. I suppose MRNS, not big money, but I suppose I could have closed that out and said, hey, I made money. But these are charts that are still working. They're still there, and they're still doing their thing. So I have no problem backing up and saying, maybe today is bigger than we are. Recognize that. And today was bigger than we are, I think. So anyway, I want to thank everybody. I appreciate it. So put your hammer and your chisel away and go get the quality tools you need to trade. All right. We'll see everybody. You guys take care. See you tomorrow morning, bright and early. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening. Thanks, Dog, Gary, Reem, Terry C, Dumplings, Brad, Joey, Raj, Trader X, Billy. Nice charts, by the way, Trader X. Patrick, Kathy, Ed, thank you very much. Later, everyone. Good night.